Welcome to the Ladies Who Leverage podcast, where we empower women to connect authentically, build strategically, and live life unapologetically AF. It's time for women to embrace that they are powerful at their core and to leverage their expertise, resources, and relationships to build their business, their brand, and their badassery. I'm your host, Kelly Charles Collins, and we invite you to subscribe to the Ladies Who Leverage podcast. Our episodes drop every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So listen, enjoy, share, and subscribe. Hey, everybody, before we dive into this amazing episode, I just want to share with you how excited I am about the launch of the Ladies Who Leverage Visionary Life magazine. Yes, we have a magazine coming out. So not only do we have the Ladies Who Leverage Global Network and Mentoring Accelerator and this badass Ladies Who Leverage podcast, we are now going to have the Ladies Who Leverage magazine, all part of our ecosystem and our mission to connect women, connect female entrepreneurs authentically, help them to build thriving businesses and make sure that they're living life unapologetically AF. So what you have to do, and I'm going to say have to because you don't want to miss this. You need to go to lwlmagazine.com so that you can subscribe. Listen, it's free and it's great information. The inaugural issue launches January 22nd, 2022, and I cannot wait. It's going to be digital. It will come out quarterly, and I promise you, we will make sure that it is packed with curated content that is infused with valuable information, enlightening insights, practical ideas and useful resources, right? For you to be able to unleash your inner badass, build your thriving business, and live life unapologetically AF. Y'all know I am all about helping women and empowering women to win. And as we move into 2022, working on making sure that you build your business badassery. So focusing on your beliefs, your boundaries, your brand, your bag, and your being. So make sure that you subscribe to the Ladies Who Leverage Visionary Life magazine, lwlmagazine.com. And I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Now let's get into this episode. Welcome everyone to the Ladies Who Leverage podcast. This is another amazing episode that we have today. We have a really special guest. It is Ken Honda. Some of you may already know who he is. And for those of you who don't, I'm so happy to introduce you to him. So let me give you a little bit about his background and then we'll get started. So money and happiness expert, Ken Honda is a best-selling self-development author in Japan with book sales surpassing 8 million copies since 2001. Yes, 8 million. People want to sell 100 books. He sold 8 million books. His latest book is called Happy Money: The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. Ken studied law at Waseda University in Tokyo and entered the Japanese workforce as a business consultant and investor. Ken's financial expertise comes from owning and managing several businesses, including an accounting company, a management consulting firm, and a venture capital corporation. His writings bridge the topics of finance and self-help, focusing on creating and generating personal wealth and happiness through deeper self-honesty. Ken, welcome so much to this Ladies Who Leverage podcast. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you, Kelly, for a kind introduction. I feel so honored to be here and invited to your show.
Oh, thank you. So right now it is 8:30 a.m. where Ken is. And it is 6:30 p.m. here. So there's a huge time difference. So I'm so, honored that we were able to connect so that we could get you on here because, the topic around happiness and money, sometimes those things, people don't put those two things together. So before we get into that though, I want people to just learn a little bit more about you and your background.
So I was born into a traditional family. My father was a successful tax accountant, and my mother is a stay-at-home mom. So it's a traditional Japanese family. And my father wanted me to be strong. So he taught me karate and all those martial arts. And also at the same time, he taught me about everything about money since I was 5 or 6. So he used to take me to a near shopping mall, and then he asked me which store makes most money. So I answer like fish market because there's a lot going on. But then he asked me to turn around and look at the mattress store. There's no people, but still, if you make a sale of a big mattress, you can make a profit. And so he started teaching me since I was, very, very young. So he taught me well. I started my company in my early 20s, and I retired temporarily at the age 29 for my baby girl for 4 years. And during the 4 years of semi-retirement, I had this vision of writing a book, which was crazy because I was I was in tax or business law, so those guys don't write. And
I'm a
I
lawyer, so yeah, they don't.
I thought it's crazy, but I did it anyway. I had a lot of time. And then I started distributing my booklets to my friends, and it got an attention from one of the editors, and he asked me to write a book. And since then, I've been writing almost every month.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing.
a lot of books.
Yeah, a lot of books. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you say that, like the, business and tax accountants, they're not doing all that writing. All the trial lawyers, we do all the writing, but they don't.
Yes, you said it right.
And so when you wrote that booklet, what was it that you were trying to, help people with or communicate to people?
So we tend to think happiness and money that they don't coexist together. But in fact, there are a lot of people who are not super wealthy, but who are comfortable with money. And also, they're very genuinely happy too. And I have interviewed so many happy people with money, and I realized that there are some secrets to that. A lot of people want to be billionaires, but it's not the happiest path, because in the process of making money, you make a lot of stress and enemies too, and a lot of lawsuits, I think, in North America too. So if you choose the path of happiness and personal peace, you don't really have to play big. Instead, you can focus on your peace of mind and also integrity, so you can make your own business. At the same time, you can find a very less stress, because those happy people are surrounded by the best clients ever. They respect their clients, and they're loved by their clients. So if you can build a relationship like that, I think your viewers and listeners are exactly the kind of people who can be wealthy and at the same time very happy. So
Yeah.
especially ladies who are good at leveraging, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're in the right place.
Yeah. I want to go back for just a quick second, because you were talking about how your dad taught you about money from such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is so important. I know that I didn't really have those lessons around money. They tried. Maybe I didn't listen too well. But how important is it for people to understand money so
Mm-hmm.
that they can make the correlation between happiness and money?
Many of us have to work to make a living, to bring food on the table. So that means a certain amount of our time while we wake up, while we are up, will be spent on work. So it makes a big difference if you do what you love or if you do what you hate. So first of all, you understand these correlations between work, happiness, and money. So even though you make a lot of money, you may end up being very miserable. I have many doctors and lawyers who just couldn't turn their life around because they've invested enough. So they can say, oh, I'm through this, and then start making like potteries and stuff. it's too much to dump your past 10 years or 20 years. So unless you understand this at the very young age, you will be lost. That's why many people get addicted to alcohol, which was my father's case. Could be drugs, could be any other substances.
Yeah.
So if you cannot find peace in everyday life, 1 million extra money cannot do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about when you think about the correlation,
Mhm.
people think that more money, more happiness, but you just said, there's doctors, there's lawyers. We see all these celebrities who have
Mhm.
all of this money, and then all of a sudden we hear, they've committed suicide, or, whatever, they're on drugs. And so the correlation between the two, as I'm listening to you, is that you have to be internally happy, right? There has to be, you have to have happiness and not seek happiness in money.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm very happy. It's not because I have sold 8 million copies of my books. I'm very happy because I do what I love and I keep writing. It doesn't really matter if this book is going to be published or not. I'm writing for myself. So I'm happy with where I am, and I don't need to compare myself with others. And I do seminars a lot. My online clients are usually a few thousand people. So I'm uh, I'm appreciated by so many people. So I wake every morning and find many thank you email in my boxes, saying, thank you, Ken, I got married because of you. Thank you, Ken, I made like MVP because of this and the teaching. So I get a shower, beautiful thank you shower every morning. And also before I go to bed, I open the email accounts. I get a lot of thank you emails again. When I used to do a consulting and accounting, I got 80% thank you note, and also I got 20% of complaints. So, I don't want to open my email boxes before I went to
Right,
bed.
not before you go to bed.
Right. So I mean that fact only, I'm very happy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, when you say when you do what you love, it just makes it easier. And when you're creating an impact for other people and
Mhm.
they let you know that, then you just want to keep doing it more.
Yes. So it's almost like I think of myself as I'm addicted. I'm addicted to book writing. That's the only healthy addiction I could think of. So I cannot stop writing because a lot more is coming out once my book is finished.
Yeah.
So I wrote 18 books this year.
This year.
Yeah. So like I'm writing an online book
Uh-huh.
every month and 6 physical books. So
Wow.
they're on at 7-Eleven or those convenience stores. So
Mhm.
wherever I go, my books are everywhere.
Wow. And are all those books, are they all on finance and talking about money?
Actually this month I published a book on how to find your happiness, and sometimes I write on relationship and money,
Mhm.
and also how to monetize your gifts, which is so important too.
Yeah.
And also how to the most selling book this year is how to survive this age of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I talked about a lot about how to find your peace in the midst of this chaos, and it's becoming a national bestseller. So
Yeah, I bet, because so many people have had to try to figure out a new way or a
mhm,
different way of doing
mhm,
things. And also, as you talk about, monetizing your gift, that is such a big thing, because
mhm,
with what has happened in the world, so many people, they talk about the great resignation, so many people are opting out of traditional employment and going into entrepreneurship. And that's
mhm.
exactly what it is, right? How do you monetize your gift? So if you were to
Yeah.
give the viewers and the listeners just like one tip when they're thinking about monetizing their gift, what is one thing that you would say to them?
You have to find something that inspires you the most. You don't need any motivation. Once you know what it is,
Hmm.
it's almost like you drilled in an oil well.
Hmm.
It just splashes out. So once you know what it is, like for me, writing and speaking, I don't need to get paid. I speak all day, on Clubhouse and all the other medias. Sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't. I don't really care because as a result of my commitment to people, I get paid very well, from many different sources, right? So if you find what it is, could be cooking, could be counseling, could be coaching, could be selling some fancy products, whatever it is that you feel like you're called to do, and it's your life mission. And if you find truly what it is, people know it because that kind of people just shine, without speaking a word. You feel like attracted to that person because he or she shines so beautifully from inside. So say there are two flower shops. One store, she loves flowers, so she shines with flowers. The other one, he's getting the pay, so he doesn't care about the flowers. He's doing that because of the job. Where would you go, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's obvious. If you do what you love truly, you excel in the field. And if you do a super good job wherever you are, you move up. So even if you get paid at the minimum age right now, just try to do something a little bit more fun. And then you just kind of like move up.
Yeah.
And
It's
eventually,
interesting that you say that because one of the things that I've thought about over the past couple of months as I've been building my business and just thinking about what I'm doing, and I
Mhm,
found that some of the joy was going away. And because that was happening, it was making it more difficult, right? The road to like go do what I needed to do
mhm,
was becoming harder because it was just like, this isn't fun. I'm not having a good time. And so I love that you say that because it's not only just for the outside, it's
mhm.
also for you to be able to keep going and to have, clarity of purpose and to be able to do the things that you need to do to make sure that you're successful.
Yeah, yeah. So, as long as you enjoy, people will enjoy it with you.
Mhm.
And because it's so much fun to buy something from the people who truly enjoy work.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to bring this back. You talked about this with your dad, and I think it has to do with this whole concept of monetizing. So how your dad was saying, listen, look at this fish market, and
Hmm.
there's all these people, and then look at the mattress store, right?
Hmm.
But the mattress store, the mattress costs more probably than the fish. And so sometimes we think it's volume as opposed to maybe,
Hmm.
higher price. So talk about the lesson that he was trying to impart to you at that young age and showing you the dichotomy between the
Hmm.
fish market and the mattress store.
Yeah. So later on, he said, you have to choose the right occupation. People who just love interacting with many people, like this fish market, the owner of the fish market was almost like uh, a womanizer, because many of them are housewives. So he was just kind of like throwing, like words like "you look so beautiful," "you look so gorgeous," and then he was selling fish. So he really enjoyed the momentum of fun exchanges of flirtation, and then somehow all the women got attracted to him, right? So he was leveraging that. And if you work in real estate or a mattress store, you don't have that busyness, right? So you have to know who you are. If you want to kind of like make jokes with the clients and just flirt like that, you are in the right business if you're fit, in the fish business. But if you do that with real estate, clients will say,
Right.
I cannot trust this guy, right?
Like you're not
So
taking me to another house.
yeah, so like you have to know who you are, your
That's
personality type.
interesting. That's interesting because that's not what I was thinking, because I was thinking the difference in price, but I that is so interesting that was the lesson, and that's so true, right? To understand where you will best show up. So for example, people always talk to me about coaching, and I say I'm not a coach, right? I mentor people and I'm a great strategist and I'll help you through
Mm.
that. But I'm not what you would consider to be a coach. And that's such a great lesson to know where your strength is and
Mm-hmm.
operate in that, right? Because you said that will show up and people will come to you because of that.
Yes, yeah. So I'm, even though I talk about money, my show or my seminar is so funny. I cannot do that as much in English. I'm
Yeah.
working on it, but I make so many jokes around money.
Okay.
So people come to my seminar and come to my online courses because it's entertaining. We take money so seriously. So that's in that situation, a lot of humor, a lot of funny things happen because husbands and wives fight all the time for some stupid reasons from outsiders. So
Yeah.
it's always funny to
Yeah.
counsel a couple.
And question for you, Ken, how important is people's money story
Mhm.
to their connection to money and even monetizing their gift?
What do you mean by money story?
So what they've learned about money or what they believe about money.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes. It's very, there's a big, strong relation between money and your concept because your money belief is created by by the influence by your parents and your siblings and also bad friends. When I was in fifth grade, there was this boy who influenced me badly. He said, you have to spend all the money you have, you have to use up all the allowances. Otherwise, you cannot be a man. It really spoke to my heart at the age 10. So
Right.
I was more of a saver. I love saving money, but he influenced me to spend more money. So bump into friends like that, your parents, and all that stored in your subconscious. So you decide how to make money. Some people want to work for big companies. Some people go to entrepreneur world, and so all those small decisions are also made by your money blueprint. So you have to really know what's in there. I used to do a lot of workshop for 4 days on how to rewrite your money blueprint.
What do you mean by money blueprint?
Money blueprint, it's almost like blueprint for building a house, right? So when you build a house, you need a blueprint to build houses, and you need certain materials and inches and all that. And also, well, we are building a money castle. Sometimes good one, sometimes very shaky one, and that money blueprint is written by our parents and grandparents, which is so fascinating because we are heavily influenced by the money concept that was built 100 years ago. Our grandparents felt so insecure on money, so they taught their kids to be conservative with money, who's your parents, and they felt so squeezed. So that's why it went into more of a spender type.
Okay.
So North American people went into this consumption world because they were so squeezing in 1930s. So 1950s and 60s, like spending money is good. And since then, this has been the culture in North America. So if you don't spend money, you're not a person. So the size of a credit card and a budget, it means decides your worth. So if
Yeah.
you're living in a culture like that, I feel somewhat sorry for the people who are in the culture because you have to spend more, and then the spender is a winner. So if you're in the culture like that, it's so easy to fall into a debt without knowing because we were all brainwashed in the cultural difference.
Yeah. And so you were just talking about spender, and then you had mentioned that you like to save, and that's so as a
Mhm.
saver. And I know
Yeah,
that you talk about the different personality types. So there's spender
yeah,
and saver. And what are some of the other personality types when we talk about money?
yeah. When used to do inheritance taxes, always a surviving family in the same conference room, usually a mother and a few kids. And I realized that they're born and brought up in the same household, but they dress very differently, and the hairstyle is different. Some looks happy, hippie,
Mhm.
and the other look like a Wall Street investor type, and with a Louis Vuitton bags. Like, oh, what's going on with this family? And I realized there is this money personality type that we grow into. Some people end up a gambler. Sometimes people grow to be a money maker. So even if you're born and brought up in the same family household, your brother and sister end up being a different people. That's why we fight and we don't understand each other. Like your brother may focus on saving, 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 so they don't have fun. They don't take you out in a fancy restaurant, and they don't buy you expensive gifts for Christmas and birthdays, which used to upset you a lot. So we have a gambler, a spender, and also I forgot warrior. People worry, worry, worry about money, and there is a combination. If
Yeah.
you're a saver and a warrior, you stay home, you don't go out because you worry about spending. And if you did that, it'll be less money at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So, so you have to know who you are.
And those personality types, so you know how you're talking about like in one household, you can have all of these different personality types. How does that happen when you're, we have mom and dad or mom or dad or whoever is raising you, right?
Mhm.
Whichever a parent who's raising you. How does that happen that we have these different personality types in the same space?
I think somewhat genetic. Some people are born with the taste of flashy things. Like, if you're a mother, you have like a few kids, like you did everything right. You did everything same. But some people want to party, spend all the money, spend all the allowance money. And then, and she threatens her little brother to loan some money to her, because she used up all the allowance money. And her little brother doesn't spend a penny, So I once learned fight that the small children. Sister is like 10, and her brother is like 5 or 6, and her mother was my client, and she said interesting thing. Her little daughter is is trying to steal the money from her brother because she was claiming that you're not spending any money. That means you don't need money. So give it all to me. And then she was using up all the money. So without knowing, some people are born spender because they like to enjoy life. They are more extrovert. They want to play with people. They want to buy new gadgets. So at the end of every month, they have nothing. On the other
Yeah.
hand, an introvert who want to stay home, they're not interested in new gadgets and clothes and sneakers and iPods. They don't spend money. So it's something to do with your character. And then money magnifies your character. That is also a fascinating part.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say that, I mean, I can think about that, when
Mhm.
you think about celebrities and you think about the world as it is. What do you mean when you say that it magnifies your personality?
So if you're a spender, you want to make a lifestyle to support that. So the spender ends up being a money maker.
Mhm.
So she may, the older sister, she may become a lawyer or investment banker who makes a lot of money and also enjoys extravagant lifestyle. Whereas her brother wanted to be a scholar, so he probably ends up in a university somewhere, and then he drives a beige Volvo, and then live in a very nice apartment, which is not fancy or big, and then probably have a few Gap shirts, and then jeans, and a very simple lifestyle, and he enjoys that. So
Yeah.
when they get together for Christmas or Thanksgiving, they have nothing to talk about, So
Yeah, they just have a
happen.
different relationship with money. And one of the things that you talk about this whole concept of happy money,
Hmm.
and you talk about being happy in the receiving and the giving. So
Yes.
talk about that, because you have a whole concept and an app and everything around this whole concept of being happy to give and receive.
Hmm. So I learned about this concept of happy money from my mentor, who used to be called Warren Buffett of Japan. He passed away a few years ago at age 83. But he insisted the secret of money is to say thank you to money. Arigato your money is what he said. When money comes in, appreciate money coming in. When you spend money, also appreciate money going out. So by doing that, you can start this cycle of appreciation. And I realized that some people are in the flow of this happy money. They do what they love and receive money with appreciation. And when they spend money, they also appreciate the service they're getting. On the other hand, most unfortunately, most of us are experiencing unhappy money flow. We are so complaining about what we do and then get money, almost like alimony, Like, okay, get this. You grab the check and then you complain and sigh, oh, this little. And then when they spend, also we complain and about the bills, like we feel ripped off. Electricity, they're ripping off, So a lot of people complain about the bills they receive. So that is unhappy money, and you can choose which one to be in the flow. Do you want the flow of happy money or unhappy money? Even though you make the same amount of money, can you appreciate your company or your boss for giving you the money, or do you keep complaining?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting that you say that. When I heard about this from you, I was thinking about it, because when we think about complaining,
Mhm.
we all do it, complaining about the bills, right? That we have to pay the bills. We have, like you said, electricity or water or whatever. And if we think about it deeply, right? So you were
Mhm.
talking about this deeper self honesty. If we think about it, it's not that you have to pay, you get to pay these bills, right? Because I get to have water, I get to have electricity, I get to have a home that I can live in, that I have to pay these things, right? And so if you think about what you're saying in terms of the appreciation, right? We should be appreciative that we have not only the ability, but that we get to do these things, because it means that we have something, right? That
Mhm.
we're paying this money because we have something else that is adding some value to our life.
Yes, exactly. So as long as we appreciate what we have, we can be happy. So when you pay bills, think of all the people who made your electricity possible. The reason why you have a refrigerator, the hot running water, is somebody helped the wire the electricity to your house. And then somebody is working 24/7 at the power plant, and all the people are working to make sure electricity is installed in your house.
Yeah.
So as much I understand about the upset that your bill for electricity is too high, and probably it's going higher.
Yeah.
But as long as you can appreciate it, that will make you happy.
Yeah.
So you have to pay the bills anyway. So you have a choice. Do you want to complain about it, or do you appreciate it?
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that. So this goes back to a lesson. When I was working some years ago, I had a boss who used to say to me, he used to tell us, there's no reason to complain. If I ask you to do something, don't complain about it, because you have to do it anyway. So you can either do it, not complain about it, and me think, oh, they really wanted to get this done, or you can complain about it, still have to do it, and now I have a negative thought about you, right? Because now you've complained about something that you were going to have to do anyway, right?
He's a smart man.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be happy that you said that.
Yes, he's a smart person. And also, when you pay bills, if you could just imagine everyone made possible. And in your imagination, just appreciate each one. As an imaginary person, thank you, electrician. Thank you, driver. Thank you, worker. Thank you. And also, don't forget, somebody brought oil from somewhere for the power plant to create electricity. So there's somewhere in Arabic country somewhere who did the drilling too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, more than a few hundred people, made it possible for you to enjoy this simple electricity and also this technology. Unless there's somebody who installed a cable between US and Japan, we can have this conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah. It's so funny to you don't really think about things in that way, and to have that, to just have that kind of shift, right? Or to think about it in that way, that as you're paying, you're thanking the people who have done this for you, but also as you're paying, you're helping to keep them employed too, right?
Yes.
And so I love that you say that, the cycle of money and the appreciation around the flow of money and happy money.
Yes, and bless them. So the money you pay is going to bless everybody in the process back.
Yeah.
And then somebody who received the money, happy money, hire you as a coach. So the money comes back to you.
That's right. That's right. It's that happy money flow is what we want.
Yes, exactly. And you don't have to make more extra money. Just appreciate the money in your life.
Yeah, because it will come to you, right? When you, just like you were just saying, it's interesting that you were saying that about your business model in terms of, sometimes you speak for free, sometimes you do your workshops for free, because on the other end of it, right, the flow of that money, you will get paid, right, doing some of the other things.
Yeah. So my podcast is now reached 50 million downloads.
Wow.
So no, I've done a lot of free work. 50 million people enjoy my podcast, which is 30 minutes, like this one. So out of that many some people think it's fun. Some people think they want to learn more. So if people want to learn more, they come into my courses.
Yeah.
So, I do things freely. And as a result of free sharing, I get paid handsomely at the end. So don't focus on this thinking like, I have to increase my hourly bills and stuff like that. You cannot make money that way. You're probably on a survival level if you try to get the money, just only one transaction.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. I got that. I got that. And I love that, you use your podcast. I was listening to somebody the other day and they were talking about that. And they were talking about kind of the funnel of how they bring people into their flow. And, she was talking about, she has her paid things and then she has the free things. And I think some people, me included, right, you get jaded a little bit about, giving away free. But when you think about, and this is what she was saying too, she has her podcast and she has, sometimes she does her book for free, you just pay shipping. So those are ways that you're giving, right, of yourself and, providing content like here, right? I'm providing this content to the listeners and to the viewers. And that is a way for you to do it. So, because I think sometimes people get afraid or get resentful and frustrated around free, but you can develop a way to create the content where you are serving and you are giving, but you're also serving yourself, right? In terms of whatever you're creating around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you commit yourself to totally giving yourself to your clients or potential clients or the people around you, people feel it. So just keep on doing. And also the other concept I want to tell you is that the title of my book, which sold a few 100,000 copies, is that do what you love and make sure money follows you.
Mm, talk
A
about
lot
that.
of, a lot of people forget, they get the first part, do what they love.
Right.
That they always forget, to make sure that money is following you.
Yes. Yes. And that you're not chasing money.
Yeah. So you have to have a container of some kind,
Mhm.
just the people throwing money, and then sometimes they bring you clients. So
Yes.
those people are goddess of God, a goddess of abundance. So if you bump into those people, you're lucky. So
Yeah.
every time I imagine in my imagination, like through you, Kelly, I'm bumping into this goddess of abundance somewhere on the listener, and who really appreciates what I do,
Mhm.
and just send me happy money.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how the money is going to be wired to me, but as a result, every year, I have more than plenty. I have more than enough for the family of three. So I can feed other family members. I can feed other orphans. So I feel so grateful that I feel like I'm given more than I give. So that's how I feel.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Ken, I'm so happy that I got to meet you and to have this conversation with you because, with the ladies who leverage our community, one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that I'm going to focus on this year is around financial education, right? And
Beautiful.
becoming very educated around our money, what it
Mm-hmm.
means, what are our beliefs around money, and how to make sure that we keep it, how to make sure that we grow it, how to make sure that it follows us, right? I love that whole concept. Because so many women, especially in the United States, so many women start businesses, but
Mm-hmm.
our businesses don't thrive, right? We start them, they're good, right? You have a good product or a good service, but we don't have a lot of the education or the understanding of money. We don't get the funding that we need to get. And
Mm-hmm.
so this whole concept of having good relationships with money and that whole thing about the appreciation and the happy flow of money, I just love that because it's a shift. It's just a slight shift in thinking, but if you things that you appreciate come back to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so just thinking of, yes, it's going out, but in some way it's going to come back to me, right? It's still going to follow me, like you said. So I
Yes.
want to I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. So start following what you love, and also create a system, almost like a container
Mhm.
to receive abundance. So if people are willing to give you something, don't say no, 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 no. Just say thank you and receive.
Yeah.
So you have to have a container of some kind.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because that's another thing, right? We always say, oh no, just thank
Yeah,
you.
so receive and appreciate. That is a money EQ principle. You have to receive well and appreciate the money flow. So don't say no to the money coming in. Just embrace it, and then you can just give it to anybody who wants it. And
Yeah.
these days, happy money is more needed. So
I love it. I love it. Ken, thank you so much. If someone wants to get in contact with you, how can they do that? And where can they find your books?
thank you. You can probably find my book, Yellow Book, in a major bookstore or Amazon. And
Okay.
you can find all the information at kenhonda.com. I'm not doing much in English, but I have English community. It's actually from 20 different countries. It's called Arigato Living Community. So we charge only $8.88, and I do seminars and all kinds of fun stuff. So all the other information is free at kenhonda.com. So if you feel like joining the community, you're more than welcome. And I do a lot of interviews like this to share my ideas of happy money. And it doesn't cost you anything to create the flow of happy money. Just when the money comes in next time, just say, embrace it and say, thank you, or arigato, or danke. It's cool if you do it in other languages. So just say gracias or whatever the foreign language thank you, Try that. And that will make you feel so good. So I hope you start the flow of money, happy money flow.
Going to start my happy money flow. Well, thank you, Ken, so much for being on the Ladies Who Leverage podcast. And thank you for tuning in every week. Mondays, 9 a.m. Eastern, our episodes drop. And if you are a female entrepreneur or business owner and you are looking for a community where you can connect authentically, build strategically, and live life unapologetically AF, I'm going to invite you to apply to our exclusive community, Ladies Who Leverage. Just go to lwlcollab.com, or you can go to ladieswholeverage.com and find out all about Ladies Who Leverage, this podcast, our magazine, which will come out in January 2022. So make sure you subscribe, and also how you can purchase my book, Unapologetic AF, 34 Ways to Unleash Your Inner Badass. So make sure that you subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And until then, unleash your badassery and live life unapologetically AF. Take care. Thank you for joining us. This podcast has been brought to you by Lady Lawyer Media. Make sure that you subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you are a female entrepreneur or business owner and you're looking for a safe, supportive ecosystem to create and share ideas and information, build a thriving business, and live life unapologetically AF, then I'd invite you to apply to Ladies Who Leverage. We're an exclusive community of badass female entrepreneurs. So if that sounds like you, go to www.lwlcollab.com. That's LWLCOLLAB as in boy.com, so that you can apply to join us in our amazing badass network. And until then, I want you to unleash your badassery and live life unapologetically AF.